Today on Know You're Wrong, we're going to talk about the new Preacher AMC series and see if we think it's something that you guys should be watching. And also, Pokémon Go. I mean, what else needs to be said? Hey, welcome to Know You're Wrong. I'm Colin Buckingham. Today, joined with, of course, Joey Skaggs and Michael Kolb. We're Big Kid Studios, and this week we are going to talk about the season so far of Preacher. We're not going to go into any specific episodes, but I mean, it's the new AMC series, kind of following up right after Walking Dead, so you know they got a lot of hope for this show.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's also based off a comic book as well. I have personally never even heard of the comic book before, and so I don't have a clue of those, but Mike, you said
I love the comic book. I read the comic book in college. A friend of mine in college introduced me. He's like, hey, you need to be reading this. And he just dumped comics in my lap, and I read them.
Yeah.
And they were spectacular. It was something that there was nothing like it at the time that I'd been exposed to.
And this is pre-Walking Dead.
Pre-Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it was this whole new kind of genre of comic book to me. And I really loved it. And then I heard late that before they were getting ready to release a show, that they'd made a show about it. And I was super excited.
Right.
And I've watched it, and it's been really good build up. But then they took my favorite character, what a lot of people's favorite character was, and they gave him a huge turn. And the comic book, you loved Arseface.
Oh.
You loved Arseface in the comic book. He was
Yeah.
a character that was redeemable and you really cared about, because in the comic book, he was a huge fan of Kurt Cobain. And him and his buddy Pube, when Kurt Cobain
Is
killed
that why
himself.
he used the shotgun?
Yeah, when him and
Okay.
his buddy Pube got drunk, and then they killed themselves, or attempted to kill himself. Pube succeeded, Arseface did not. And then his father never talked to him again
Right.
after a suicide attempt. And then now they've revealed that
Why he shot himself in the face,
he attempted to commit murder because a girl wouldn't go on a date with him.
Yeah, I get
Like,
it.
you just suddenly just lose all your lovability for that character, and my opinion of the show took a little bit of a dive.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I've only seen the first episode.
Yeah, you're spoiling a big one.
Yeah,
for
that's
him.
all right, though. That's fine. That's super interesting, because when you say Arseface, I know exactly what you're talking
Right.
about, because that was one of the most freakishly things. I was like, what is wrong with his mouth? And so I didn't know.
That's, I think, my reaction too was like, whoa, what is that? But I've watched the whole season, and now you just see him, and it's not weird anymore.
Yeah, like you get used to it.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I like his character too. He's not my favorite character. I'm a big Cassidy fan. I love his character.
Which one is she?
It's Cassidy's a guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that
Cassidy's
starts
the
out in the
vampire.
plane.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Falls, jumps out of the airplane. But he's my favorite just because of his attitude.
And they've really stuck true to him in the show.
Really?
That like from the comic books, they really stuck true to that character, and it really works.
Right.
It was a really well written character.
Okay, so just in general, let's go back to the characters before we got into that big reveal. So, Joey, since you've only seen the first episode,
That's okay. Just
no.
come on. Yeah.
What's your first impressions? Who do you like so far? What do you think about it?
I really like it. It's a cool show. Like you said, I've never really seen anything sort of like it. And the guy in the plane,
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Uh-huh.
He was pretty cool, but I didn't know if he was like a bad guy or what he was.
Right.
I didn't know why they were on this plane and why he killed all these people and why this plane was covered with weapons.
Right.
And all these weapons everywhere. I was like, what are they doing?
Uh-huh.
So I didn't quite understand, but it was still cool. Like the action in the show is really awesome. Like
Yeah.
choreographed stuff. But I think like after the first episode, my favorite is the chick.
Tulip?
Yeah, Tulip, who was in the car and she got in a fight with that
She
dude in the
made a
cornfield.
bazooka out of like
Yeah.
tin cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she made that bazooka and like she told the kids to stay under in a little storm shelter. Then they came out like the helicopter was down and she killed all those people. And she was like, haha, see ya. I was like, that
And
was
then you
awesome.
see the girl just like in love with what
Yeah.
this person just
Yeah.
showed her.
Yeah.
My thing is, for the first episode alone, the best part is they're not taking themselves too seriously, yet all of their characters are so well rounded. Like, it's not just a flat type of character. Like with Tulip, you know, she's this tough chick. I mean, she's starting out fighting in a moving car and nobody's driving. And then you see just that intensity in her, and then immediately with kids, she's like super sweet.
Yeah.
And she's really caring and like concerned, and then she gets into fighting again, and it's just like, that's a really well-rounded character. And then with Cassidy, you see he's a cool, like, I would want to hang out with this kind of guy. And then
Not on an airplane.
And then he starts fighting, and you realize he's got a lot of skill. And then you realize later when he crashes into the ground and he's still alive, you're like, okay. And he eats the cow, so that way he can
So like,
come
what's
back.
the premise of the show? Because like I knew nothing going into it.
So there are angels, there's demons, there's heaven, and there's hell. And an angel and a demon had a baby, and that baby is called Genesis.
And this does all get revealed in the season.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was revealed in the first issue of the comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Genesis escapes heaven and is searching for a host. And he finds a human host that's capable of holding him, and Jesse Custer.
Side note, on that note, best part about Genesis in this series, it killed Tom Cruise.
I saw that. Yeah. I was like, kill
This
Tom
is already
Cruise.
really good. It's so funny.
So that was that thing at the beginning.
Yeah,
that
that's what it is.
Why everybody's head was exploding?
Yeah. So
they
the whole
couldn't handle
body
it.
was
Their
exploding.
whole body was
Right.
exploding. Yeah, it was because they couldn't contain Genesis. They couldn't hold him.
Right.
Oh, that's dope.
Now, I'm not going to lie. When I first watched the first episode, I didn't have a clue what was going on. So this force that is taking these people over, I almost wondered if people were too... Like, the reason they couldn't hold it was because they were either too good or too bad or whatever. And that preacher could hold it because we knew he was trying to be really good, but he had a really bad past.
Yeah.
And so I felt like, oh, he can hold it because he's literally holding on to both sides of himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe that's it. But then you find out later it's a little different. But I was like, I mean, immediately for me, you don't really see anything and you're already like excited about what is this mystery? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
And
that opening.
The first episode was by far the best episode, but they had several good episodes before he's gone. This last week's episode, the episode previous to that, I don't remember the title, where Jesse Custer tells Arseface to go to hell and he disappears.
again,
Great.
spoiler alert.
Great episode.
Sundowner. Yeah, I didn't even hear
But
what
like
you
the
just
whole
said.
episode was great.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I haven't had, in my opinion, this last episode was my least favorite, but it's just because it just didn't feel like as much happened in this episode as
Yeah.
all the rest are pretty full of stuff. Like,
And
to
in the
me,
first season, you really need to have the whole season to be pretty ramped up to
Right.
draw people. Like,
Well-
I understand there's only 60 issues of the comic book. There has to be kind of a roller coaster.
Right.
But
and this is supposed to be a prequel
it's
to the
supposed to
comics.
be a prequel, but it's telling stories from the comics.
Right.
Because a lot of the comics is told through flashback. He'd be like sitting in a diner in the first episode, or the first comic book, sitting in a diner, telling the story of the first episode.
Well, and this was produced by Seth Rogen, so immediately it's confusing because you're like, he's a comedy guy. What is? But that's the best part is it's an action movie with a lot of comedy. It's really funny. It's really entertaining, and then you get like the really cool characters. Like everybody on there, I love, and a lot of these people I had no idea who they were before.
Yeah.
Like some of them hadn't really done much at all before
Yeah.
this. So
There's
it
a lot
was
of
impressive.
unknowns, which makes it easier.
Yeah.
All in all, I think if you haven't seen it, you should check out the first episode, and you'll probably be hooked from there.
Yeah. It's really good. Like I want to keep watching it,
Right.
but I'm too busy.
Well,
pitching.
and another thing for us, well, Joey and I, is there's an actor in this movie who did graduate, or at least went
This
to.
is a TV show, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not a movie.
Oh yeah, sorry, but who did go to our college. He's from Kentucky.
W.
It's-
Earl Brown.
Yep, W. Earl Brown, who was in Deadwood.
He's in Deadwood. He's in There's Something About Mary.
Something about Mary. He's been in a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but it's just really cool that.
He's my favorite. He's the Kenny, the camera guy from Scream.
Oh,
the original
yeah,
Scream. And I
Yeah,
love
he's
that
the
movie.
sheriff, and
Yeah.
he's Arseface's dad. And one thing you haven't seen yet, but he seems just like a grumpy old guy. And later, he keeps that pretty well, but there are parts that they do start revealing with him that get really kind of start poking into something deeper.
When-
and I really like that.
In the comic book, he only speaks to his son once, and it was a pretty profound moment when he did. And in the show, like you rarely see him speak to his son.
Right.
But I appreciate how they did it, how they developed that relationship.
Well, it makes you not hate him.
Yeah.
Because if his son's going, and they show Arceus get bullied a lot. And so if you're the sheriff and your son's getting bullied a lot, and you just are like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
then you would hate that character. And I don't hate him yet. Like,
I also have a question before we move on from here. But
Right.
the end of the first episode, that dude literally took out his heart to his mom. Like,
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
is
the
that-
power. That's Genesis. That's what it does.
oh, okay. Okay, I was wondering, I was like, what does that have to do? I was like, I didn't think that guy was crazy. I mean, I knew he was a little awkward, but
No, yeah, it gets a lot crazier.
Okay.
It's a lot. That's my thing. Is it's a lot more fun because it's just something you don't really see in anything else. It's a pretty original idea.
Okay, let's get on to the more important topic.
Okay.
I know Joey and I are aching for it.
Yeah. So the next obvious topic is the biggest. I think anything
Yeah.
in
It's
like the
taken
past
over
century.
social media,
Yeah.
nerd culture.
Especially for our generation, is Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Uh,
It's so fun.
It's
I want to
the-
be the very best.
It's the culmination of everything that kids our age when we were younger wanted.
Kids our age when we were younger.
Well, yeah, no, I mean like,
Like
when we were kids.
when we were like middle school and Pokemon
right, when we were
became the
kids,
thing.
yeah, you're stuck on a console and you just sit there and you move your guy around, and you're always wanting it to be in the real world.
Yeah.
And now that it
Yeah,
really
you can really be
is,
Pokemon
literally
and
in the
walk around and
world.
catch Pokemon.
it's so crazy.
Augmented reality.
Yeah.
Yes. It's I don't know, like I had a few issues like when it first came out. Of course, everybody's had issues. We had
Yes.
dang server issues.
All the server
Oh my
issues.
gosh.
And then there's still like a lot of bugs and stuff. But like what I was upset with at first, I was like, I felt like they didn't explain anything to you.
Yeah,
Right, you don't
They
know
just-
why you're.
they
They
just
just
threw you in
threw
it.
you in it, and they're like, "Okay, go." And I'm like, I don't know how to do anything yet.
At
But
least,
that's
like-
I think that's what the internet is for now. Like
Yeah.
they don't even bother putting that kind of the resources into those things now
Yeah.
because you're gonna find it on the internet.
Right,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
just goes and search. But it's one of those like a classic element to Pokemon, the games anyway, was you always started somewhere, you learned what you were doing, even though you played 100 of these games.
Yeah.
And they taught you the basics so that way you knew little new things that were added to this game. And then they threw you out in the world.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted a little bit more to that. Because like you find out, like if you spin the ball, it does something different.
Yeah.
If you throw it at the right
I
time,
didn't
you get a
even know-
bonus.
I
And
didn't
it's
even
like-
know, but I didn't know why like I couldn't catch Pokemon. That sometimes like it would even like I would throw it and it would get inside, like it would catch
Right.
them, but they would keep breaking out, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like in the old games, I could fight this Pokemon,
Right, beat
get
'em down, and then it's like, okay.
catch
Did
'em.
you know that if you throw a Pokeball and miss, if you tap on that Pokeball, you'll get it back? Yeah.
That's why it takes forever.
Yeah, like if you
Okay.
you throw the
It gives
Pokeball
you a
and miss,
chance to
you
take
have
it back?
you can collect it back
I was
up.
see that's
You-
cool.
See,
Because
we're
I've
learning
been
stuff
playing.
still.
I'm like, all right,
But see,
come on, I
that's
want to
kind
throw
of the
another
thing,
one. I'm
is
waiting.
It still does it like that's a very basic, simple
Yeah.
thing, and
gotta
hardly
tell the
anybody
world
really
that.
knows that. Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
I gotta get on the Twitters right now and just tell everybody, tap your
Yeah,
Pokeballs.
and then you got people like me
Tap your balls.
who
man.
really want to play
yeah,
and don't have a phone
yeah,
that
Brody's been having issues.
totally supports it.
Yeah, you got
So
it.
I can get on, and I can on my phone and my iPad, or yeah, I have to use my mom's actual iPad. This is a mini, so I can actually play in a stationary position. So it's a little annoying because this game is
Defeats the
so
purpose.
meant to move around, which I love that, and I hate that I can't really enjoy that feature because
Yeah.
every time I try to catch Pokemon, as soon as I click on it and it goes to that catching screen, it gives me a second and then it goes right back to my home and it cuts me out of the app completely. And then if the servers are working on my
Yeah.
phone. So it's just a really, I
Wow.
want to love it, but I haven't really been able to enjoy it as much as you guys have
The
so
best
far.
part, I think, is getting a group of people together and going Pokemon hunting. You
Yeah.
walking around the town, going to the riverfront, walking to the parks.
It is
Yeah.
bizarre.
And then running into other groups of people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You walk around, you see people like, oh, look, there's like a couple people
You
walking
run,
around,
like
looking at
50
their phone.
other
Yeah.
people, and they're
Yeah.
all
Well, and
around
like when
you.
we were walking around down by the riverfront the other day, even though I wasn't playing, the great part was you'd be walking by, another group of people walk by, and apparently a Pokemon would be revealed in the area,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Where's that Pokemon?" And another group would yell at you, "Oh, it's over there!"
It's way over
And it was
there.
really cool because it's like, who the heck are you? And it's great because it's building a community instantly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, help me out. Yeah, it's great. And then like you dropped that lure, and people walked by and were like, who's Mike?
just
And it was
swarm,
like,
yeah.
and you're like, oh, it's me. And they're like, oh, thanks, bro.
Thanks
Yeah.
for the lure.
It's just like,
It's so.
all right.
It's one of the most social,
You know, they got nerds out of their basement.
Yeah.
It got me out of the house and walking around other than going to
Well,
like, the
and I
gym or
think
workouts.
nothing, or if this game doesn't prove anything else, one thing it's proved to me is that nerds don't stay in their house because they necessarily want to. It's because what they want to do is stuck in their house.
Yeah.
So when you give it an element where it's directly related to the real world, they'll go out and do it. And so this, I think, is going to lead to a whole different style of gaming.
Yeah.
Where you got VR now, and now if you got added this to a VR thing, like imagine how crazy games
People will
could
die.
really get.
Yeah.
I think people will die at
There
that
are
point.
going to be a lot of,
Of accidents.
Pokemon Go deaths and accidents.
Yeah.
There's already been robberies and
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Car
speaking of which,
crashes.
if you're out late at night, which is a great time to go catch, that's why I got my Ghastly, get your Haunter, go with your group. Like,
Right,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, a friend of mine in Kansas City, she's a big nerd, she loves these things too. and she actually started a Facebook group for just girls in that area.
I want to join.
So that way, it's a safety thing.
Yeah.
And so you can play late at night, find a group of girls to go with, so you're not just wandering around by yourself. And it's neat because, again, that's a community element to
Yeah.
it. It's bringing people together that want to enjoy the same thing together, who don't have a clue who each other are. And it's like, hey, let's enjoy this safely together, so that way there's not somebody out there who feels like they have to be alone in this.
Nerd culture is evolving.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm proud to be a nerd, which wasn't the case when I was a kid. You know.
Right? You always kind of hid
You,
it.
you
Yeah.
hid your nerdness.
I feel like there's a lot more people playing Pokemon now than there was when I was in middle
You
school.
know?
And it makes me wonder. I was like, that's why the servers keep crashing. There's so many people. I'm like, no, you gotta go through the struggle. Like I got made fun of for walking around my Game Boy and having all my huge binder full of cards and Pokemon.
Right.
Like, what the heck is happening? Which
But
I mean,
that
I
just says that we were way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Way ahead.
Cutting edge of culture.
People like us so much they realize that what we liked years ago is
awesome.
That's what it
cool,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah. It's our charm.
But
But-
yeah, there's just so many things to this that it's hard to like really get into all of it because, I mean,
First of all, I want to say I just looked a second ago in my daily steps, like on Friday before, because I just got a new phone. I had an old phone, I wouldn't play it. I got a new phone that would finally play it Friday. It had 3,300 steps, and then like the next day when I started playing Pokemon Go, it was like 9,900, both Saturday and Sunday. Like
Yeah.
I got my 10,000 steps in, and I don't ever hit 10,000
well, and like
steps.
Nicole over there talking about how she played for 12 hours.
Yeah.
From like 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. It's
Yeah.
like, geez.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't played that much at night because I've always got
Right.
stuff to do, but it's amazing. I want to do it.
Well, and where I work, the best part is it's out in the middle of nowhere. But the worst part is I can't really play. But a guy I work with does. And so he always tries to like be nice about it because he's like, yeah, so we're in the middle of a field in the middle of the woods. So it's a perfect Pokemon catching place. Literally every time you turn on your game, you're surrounded by at least 6 Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they're all really cool. And he'll be like, yeah, I was sitting at the booth and I turned my game on and there was like a Rhyhorn or something right in front of me. And he was like, and there was something over there and all this stuff. And so when I'm sitting working, I'll notice him outside walking around playing when he's not working, when he has downtime. And it's just, normally when you would sit at work and you just play on your phone, you just sit there. And now, even at work,
get
you're
up.
walking around. It's
I was like, where are you going?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a second. I left something in my car.
Right.
Again.
But again, you don't have to lie about it anymore because everybody's playing it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm playing Pokemon Go. Okay, cool. What'd you find? You know, stuff like that.
Not at work though.
Well, maybe not for you, but for me, like we talk about
I'm
it.
just
at
saying,
work.
people got to work too. Though it can't be like it can't just.
Well, no,
You
you don't
can't-
do
you
it
can't
while
crush-
you're working.
can't crush
But
the
when you have a
productivity of the
downtime,
nation.
Yeah.
you can be like, I got a break. I'm gonna go play Pokemon Go.
That was
Yeah.
Japan's secret move. Like, okay, we're gonna release Pokemon Go in America,
Yeah.
and all commerce and
Yeah, and they'll
production's gonna stop.
all the productivity will
Productivity's just gonna
stop.
drop.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get in much better shape. It's like, all these nerds are gonna get
Look at their
tans.
calves.
Yeah,
Look
they're
at
gonna
their
get
calves.
tans and lose a lot of weight.
When
It's
did he get cute?
oh boy.
Pokemon Go.
Say goodbye to obesity, America. Pokemon Go
Go's here.
fixed it.
There's so many great memes about it too. Like Michelle Obama
The
tried
Michelle
for 8
Obama's
years
my-
to get people out of their house. Pokemon Go did it in 3 days.
It's my favorite.
Oh, I saw a thing
will happen.
online. This dude taped his phone to his ceiling fan and put it on the lowest setting so that he
just
gets
spins
spinning.
around.
Oh yeah. I
like-
saw somebody had tied it to his dog, and he just like let the dog
Oh,
run
that's
around.
so funny.
That's
Oh,
smart.
man.
But
I-
a lot of the ways that I've played it, at least for the first couple days, is like I know it's super dangerous, but I'm like driving around, and I do not recommend that at all. Do not drive and play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's
But
like
I've
worse
been-
than texting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's way worse than texting. But I've got like I live downtown. Like there's enough like side roads where nothing's really happening, and if something happens, I can usually pull over.
Right.
But yeah, like I'll just drive around and like, cause I mean there's so much stuff down here, and like I'll just go from gym to gym, and I'll just start
Taking them over.
start messing with fools, start taking them down, and I've taken over like 6 gyms, but like everyone's playing right now, so you can't hold a gym for like more than 6 or 7 hours.
All right, so we have personally discussed where we think this game should evolve to. So I think we can get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I personally have brought up that I think the best option for this game would be to make locations like restaurants or bars or stores even, just downtown, hotspots for certain kind of Pokemon or whatever, or just like a gym or a Pokestop or whatever. So then that way they kind of can make it like a pay feature where like a company is like, here, could we do this? And then they don't even have to play, but it'll bring people that are playing to their store.
Yeah.
Because like we said, it'd be great to sit at a restaurant and be able to play for a minute instead of having to walk around the whole time.
Yeah.
And just kind of relax and enjoy it.
Hang out with your friends, order some beers,
and
like,
then
drink
wander
some beer,
around like
yeah.
you're taking a hike. Yeah. I mean, it's. I think it would be a really fun aspect to it. And then most of the people our age that are playing would like to come to a place like this and play. And it's just like.
Yeah. One thing that I hope, and surely they're gonna come out with, but like a way to like trade. Like,
Yeah,
so we
trading
can
is coming. Trading is coming.
Trading's gotta be coming. And I want to be able to see like other people, and I want to battle
Right, like
them.
in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to battle like old school 6-on-6.
Yeah, not a gym battle.
Yeah,
just
because like the gym battles, it's like if you're training, you gotta pick one Pokemon, and then you gotta beat,
Right.
you gotta beat your friends' Pokemon on the same team, whatever. But like if you're taking a gym, you have 6 Pokemon, and all you gotta do is beat who's ever at the gym.
Yeah.
Like it could be 1 or 2 Pokemon, and you have 6. So I mean, it's a little lopsided.
Uneven,
yeah. But I mean, it makes it easier to take over a gym.
Well, that is how the game kind of was too. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you would go into a gym and the gym leader only have like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
and you had your whole group and you
Yeah,
could try to
that's
do
true.
that. But my thing too is like you said, where you're trying to train. And,
Yeah.
and you guys
And, like,
told me,
you
because I
can't-
haven't been able to do a battle at a gym yet.
Yeah.
So if you lose,
You don't get any.
Yeah, you don't get anything.
Yeah, you don't get any XP. Like your Pokemon
just-
doesn't level
yeah.
up.
You just
Yeah.
out HP.
and you're
Yeah.
not carrying them around with you, so you can't level them up away. So
And I'm like, there needs to be a better way to
Yeah,
like
better
level them
system.
up, but
I think you need to breed. That's a big thing.
Breeding will probably be. I think there's a lot of, because this game is still so new.
Yeah.
And it was such a new type of game. Like
Right.
before Pokemon Go was the other augmented reality game from the same company.
Yeah, you were talking about the other day.
I cannot remember the name of it. It was terrible. It was not a good game.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it at all. I played it for like a day and deleted it. I was like, this is silly.
do you remember what it was?
I had it right there. We talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Nothing. Because it was so bad. That was
We'll
that
just-
bad. It wasn't
we'll just
forgettable.
Put,
It's
we'll
so
just put the
forgettable.
name of it right here afterwards.
this is
That
what it's
way-
called.
This is what we forgot. But yeah, anyway.
Glad we know that
Okay.
now.
Yeah, all right.
So
Moving
moving on. but I think that we'll have a lot more features come out, and then they're going to adapt those features based upon gameplay. They're going to see how people are playing the game. I think that they might not have expected there to be like 50 groups, 50 deep walking around like the first day it came out. Obviously, the servers weren't ready
Yeah,
for that many
that's for
people to
sure.
jump on board.
Yeah.
So they're going to
was
see
so-
how we're playing, and then they'll tune those features they're adding to balance the game and to heighten the experience for the players.
Now, clearly, this is kind of a fad game. Like, it's going to be here really big for a while, and it's going to fade out. But the way most video games keep that from happening is they give you the extra content like after a period of time.
Yeah.
So this game has a lot of bugs, and there's a lot of things they need to fix and modify.
There's a lot of Pokemon missing.
Oh, so yeah, and I had heard they're regionally specific too, so I guess that's another thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, so you got all these issues they need to fix. So they have to fix technical issues,
Yeah.
and then they need to do add-ons. So do you think they'll be able to get this stuff added in time for people to still be wanting to play?
Oh, I'm sure they will, because I'm
Yeah.
sure they've already got their next DLC is almost ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
not DLC, but
Like the
Updates.
next
next
update.
update, their next patch is probably,
Yeah.
they're just fine-tuning
Yeah, it
its
can't
locked
be.
loons.
Yeah, I hope they fix that dang gym bug because like
Oh, yeah,
I've been
I heard about
so many
that,
times
yeah.
at the gym like you'll defeat them and like they'll
Get it down to,
stay,
like, 1 health.
They'll get down to 1 HP and,
And
then
then
you just
just
can't do
freezes
anything.
there.
It freezes and you're
Or,
like I should have had 12 gyms.
I'm also getting tired of having to plug in my email address
Yeah.
every time I
Yeah.
log in. Like, can I remember the email address for me, please, at
Yeah.
least?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
just link it to Google, or like they do with Facebook. You just click your link. If you're already logged in on your phone with that, you're now logged in with the new app.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of bugs, but like I said, I feel like it's not far. Like the next update, like
Yeah.
I feel like maybe a week or so.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You think
I
that
hope.
quick?
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
a week or two. We'll have a new update to fix some of these bugs.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
A lot of money went into this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, but
And
what's
I mean,
smart-
I've literally put money in the game.
Oh, have you?
I've paid like.
I haven't seen a need to, because there's so many Pokestops.
No, there
down
was one.
here.
Well, because at work, like when I can't walk around, I'm stuck up in this tower filming something. Like then there's no Pokemon around, so I'm like I have to buy all these incense because I run out,
bring
so
'em
people
in.
bring them in, and then I ran out of Pokeballs because I kept like catching all of them,
And
so
you
like I had to buy a
tap your
Pokeball once.
Pokeball.
Yeah, so I've only spent like
$100.
I spent
Free to
$7.
play, yet I spent over $200.
I spent $7 on it, But it was like, and then I bought like an extra incubator, and those things are handy if you have extra incubators because you can walk around and hatch like, that many more
Yeah, I
eggs.
think I've got like 3 incubators right now, but I've just been picking them up because I've hit so many Pokestops. There's so many Pokestops downtown Paducah.
Right.
It's such a nice place.
Because it's a historic district, so
Oh
there's
my
all
goodness.
those cool stops.
Like you walk a block and you've hit 4 Pokestops.
I mean,
and 3
imagine a
gyms.
place like New York or LA. Like,
I bet it's
those
nuts.
places
I-
have to have really good hotspots.
Yeah.
I bet the servers,
I bet the servers
never
are
work.
insane. like trying to get on is just impossible.
Yeah.
Sit there for hours. Oh, I'm on. Time to go leave my house now.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like they did a really good job of not making it too finished. So it does feel like there needs to be more. But it's also one of those things where it's good enough to where you want there to be more.
Yeah, I mean that's all I've been thinking.
You're
about
not tired of it and
starting
like, oh, this isn't worth
That's
it.
all I want to do. Like, are we done filming this show? I want to go. That's all I want to do.
But yeah,
Yeah, so like after we get done filming, we wrap up, we close down, we're going to go walk around.
well,
And-
you guys.
I'm gonna go take
Yeah.
a gym. I'm gonna go take another one. There's one right over here that's just itching.
Speaking of, when we were doing our walk around the riverfront earlier this week, well, I guess this weekend, we have a picture on our Facebook page. You need to go look. Mike took it. It's actually really funny. And it is a true struggle that I'm going through.
Get a new phone, bro.
Yeah.
I,
Time to upgrade your phone.
give me some money and I'll do it.
I've put it all in Pokemon Go.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we go?
Nope. I gotta go catch them all.
Yeah.
All right, we'll probably be talking about this a little bit more. So just keep it here every week. Know You're Wrong. Thanks for joining us. Colin Buckingham, Joey Skaggs, Michael Kolb. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll keep making these things for you guys. Have a good week.
Go Team Valor.
Team Valor!
Always.
Woo! I really want to be on the blue team. Just because y'all are on the red team.
Blue team
Just
is for
'cause.
chumps.
Just cause.
Searching far and wide. These Pokemon